What is up, YouTube? What's good? Ncaa 31 here. This is my second ranked game of Ncaa 11. Not Ncaa 11. Ncaa 12. Second ranked game of Ncaa 12. One of the bad points about when a game first comes out is that a lot of people hop online without really knowing what the heck they're doing. And this guy, even though the game is closed for a little bit, he resorts to playing like this is Ncaa 11, and you're going to see what happens to him as a result of doing it. So, anyway, I want to talk about critique videos today. Yesterday, I saw 3 of the more useless critique videos I've seen in quite some time. You know, while I was on YouTube, I saw a video favorited by the Simstandard, and again, you know, for the most part, Simstandard guys, you guys do a pretty good job. Smitty, Zur Effect, Sim Football Critic, Simulation Generation. You know, for the most part, you guys do a good job. You and I don't always agree, and sometimes we butt heads, but you know, I'm always respectful to you guys, and you know, you guys are always respectful to me, and I appreciate that. There's a couple of guys that, in my opinion, don't do a very good job, and they know who they are. But anyway, I saw this video favorited by the Simstandard, and the heading, the description of the video is Ncaa 12 is broken. And this guy is whining about the pass blocking and the fact that his receivers drop a lot of passes. And what he did, it was obvious what he did. He is showing a 3-man pass rush in practice mode, and he's sitting there holding the ball and holding the ball and holding the ball and holding the ball. And he's talking about how the pass blocking logic is flawed, blah blah blah. And would it be, you know, aesthetically pleasing to see an occasional, you know, chip or slide by a offensive lineman that doesn't have a guy to block? Sure, it would. From their own 40-yard line, first down. Does it mean that the passing blocking is broken and that the game is broken? No. No, 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 no. And if you're sitting there holding the ball and holding the ball and holding the ball and holding the ball, your pass blocking is going to break down, and you're going to see, you know, animated characters, you know, standing around not knowing what to do. That's going to happen. You're dealing with animated characters. They're not going to move like human beings, real life human beings, in all times and in all instances and in all scenarios, especially when you set the scenario up to make it look as bad as possible. And then this clown goes on to throw a pass to a receiver, and as the ball hits him in his hands, the defenders converge and he drops the ball. And that's his example of how the game is broken and his receivers are dropping passes. Nice run there. And then his second video is about the most nitpicky garbage you've ever seen in your entire life. It's really not even worth talking about his second video. But that got me thinking of the lengths people will go to sometimes to find a flaw in a game made by a company that they don't like. And that's what this is about. I don't care how you want to sugarcoat it. You know, if you have to go through that kind of length to point out a flaw in a game, that tells me the game has done a damn good job. If that's what you have to do. Now, if you want to talk simulation, let's talk simulation. Like I said before, I don't care what level of football you're at. If you're holding the ball as a quarterback for more than 4 or 5 seconds at the very max, something bad is going to happen. Your linemen are either going to get broken down, you're going to get called for a holding penalty, everyone's covered, the QB has to flush out of the pocket, he might get hit, or he might throw the ball late over the middle and get intercepted, or he has to throw the ball away. None of those scenarios are very good for the offense. And and this may come as a news flash to people, but balls get jarred out of receivers' hands when they get hit. Receivers aren't as likely to catch passes when they're in the proximity of defenders. It happens. It happens to every receiver who's ever played football at every level of the game.
From their own 35-yard line.
And you guys look at my videos. Do you see my receivers dropping wide open passes very often? Why is that? What magic elixir do I have that others don't? If you are having an issue with your receivers dropping too many passes or more passes than you would like, if you go under the game plan settings and set your catching to conservative, that will help alleviate that to some extent. Bad receivers will still drop passes. Receivers will still be less likely to catch the ball if they're in proximity with defenders or defenders hit them or converge on them, even if they're very good. That happens. In the Ncaa series, receivers have always dropped more passes than in Madden for as long as I can remember. And I know the reason why they did that. Basically, what they were trying to do was simulate the fact that these are college kids. They're not as seasoned and it's not as good as NFL players, and they make more mistakes. And the way they went about simulating that was part of it was to, have receivers drop, more catchable balls, I guess, than they would at the NFL level or on Madden. But like I said, if you use the conservative catch feature in the game planning menu, that'll help you out. And I know some people out there are saying, I don't want to use a game plan feature, it's a gimmick, yeah, gimmicks. Well, ask yourself this question. If there's a feature in the game that'll help you out and solve the problem that you're having, not totally, but it'll make it better and a more positive experience, and you choose not to use that feature and you are frustrated that the game is not playing, or your receivers aren't doing, or your players aren't doing what you want them to do, whose fault is that? The game or yours for not using the feature that's designed to help you out? I don't understand people sometimes. And I'm sorry if I'm full of piss and vinegar this morning, but, it just gets too much at times. And, the Simstandard put out a video where they're showing old Ncaa 06 footage about the Ncaa, old gen engine and the old gen football, engines in general. And I thought to myself, what's the purpose in this? And I said in my comment on the video, what's the point of this? We know why we are playing with a new engine, that we're not playing on the same engine with the same code. We know that. It's been rehashed a billion times over the past 5 years. It's a dead horse. It's beyond a dead horse. Like I said in my comment, the horse isn't just dead. It's been shot in the head, it's been turned into glue, and the spare body parts have been buried in the ground. We know why they made that decision. And I said numerous times that I don't think it was the best decision. They should have just ported the old gen engine and enhanced the game with a new horsepower around it, like NBA 2K did when they went to next gen. They basically ported the NBA 2K6 old gen system to the new gen system and used the enhanced power of the new consoles to build up an already proven foundation. But EA went a different route, and they had some severe growing pains for a few years, doing it. And I think if you injected them all with truth serum, they'd admit that. But the only purpose that video would serve is rehashing that argument again. People going on about, the old games play so much better, blah, blah, blah. EA is lazy. EA can't build a new football game. 2K, doing 2K football games. To open up the license, blah, 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 blah. It's just... If you don't have something that shows something that is game-breaking, sometimes it's best not to make a video at all, because it just doesn't always serve a constructive purpose. If you have to preface a comment like this guy did in his 2 videos, showing how broken the game was, with the phrases, I don't mean to be nitpicky, it means you're about to be nitpicky. It's like people who say, You know, I don't mean any offense or no offense, but they're about to say something offensive. You know, no offense, but I'm about to offend you. It's the same thing. You know, this video is not meant to bash EA. It then goes to bash EA. It's just the way it is. It's just human nature. You know, just state your case and let, you know, your case, you know, be what it is. It's just ridiculous at times. You know, if I've made the decisions to spend my money on a game, it's because I've made an informed decision that I want to play the game, not spend more time breaking it apart than playing it. I don't really get the point of that. If you don't want to support the game, don't purchase the game. Don't support the company that makes the game with your dollars. That's all it comes down to. So that's pretty much my rant on that. You know, I don't do critique videos. It's not my thing. I'd rather play the game, and I'd rather talk about the things that, or make videos about the things that interest me from a football and sports perspective. But, you know, for others that's their thing, and that is cool. But it just gets overbearing at times. It's ridiculous. Because I wonder what's going to satisfy people. Are these type of videos ever going to go away? I don't think so. Because there's always going to be something that you can find that's wrong and, you know, can be better than what you are currently seeing. That's just the way it is. But that's YouTube. That's the YouTube community. We all have the right to voice our opinions and to express our thoughts. So that is that. That's how I feel on that topic. So, hope you guys enjoy, and I'll talk to you all later. Peace.
Looking for the corner, and they push him out at the 9. He delivers. It's intercepted. And he's tackled at the 20-yard line. Pass complete and taken down immediately. He may have changed things up here. Touchdown, Notre Dame! That was a well-drawn-up play for the wideout. Yeah, Now they run it left, and a nice tackle right there. Slings it to his tight end, but he drops it.
Number 82, the intended receiver on the play. 3rd down.
Tipped away.
That's the kind of field vision you want out of your linebackers. They have to play well in coverage, and they have to be able to break up pass plays.
He's looking to pass. Throws it, and oh, he dropped it. And he may have changed things up here. They keep it on the ground with the tailback. To go in the game. Trying to change the play. Hands it to the back.
Boy, that really puts their backs against the wall. And being honest,
he unloads it. Down the sideline. He drops back. He heaves it to the end zone. And just a great interception. Fullback straight ahead. Across midfield. And they finally bring him down at the 41.
wow. How about the motor?